Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to All Things Kingdom, where we discuss all kingdom matters. And tonight we have a special guest that is going to continue our conversation in marketplace ministry, where I am so excited on tonight because tonight is going to be phenomenal. I'm bringing on my special guest, Prophet Gary Pearson, and it is going to be exciting. Go ahead, like and share. Tag your friend that got a ministry. Tag your friend that is an entrepreneur. Tag your friend that is an influencer, because tonight we are going to go in and we're going to have a great dialogue in just helping you to get your ministry, get your business as an influencer, get your brand and all of those things. But all those things are subject to the things of the kingdom. So I'm going to bring the man of God on our page. Both of our pages are now public, so both of our audience can see. And so let's engage. Go ahead, tag your friend. Don't be selfish. Go ahead and share this information. God bless you. Hey. God bless you. God, welcome, welcome, welcome. Listen, I am so excited on tonight. I just know God is going to move as well. I'm excited because I love dialoguing about this. I've been teaching this for years, and it just seemed like when the pandemic hit, it was like, oh, it's a new wave. But God is doing a new thing and a movement in his remnant. And this is an era that, I've spent many years in traveling, in teaching evangelism and ministry and incorporation of ministry and business. And now is the time for God's people to learn how to merge the two and learn, how to utilize the gifts that we have. And you were one of the great people that God put in my spirit to share, because, you have mastered the art in merging the two, as well sharing and being a light. And I think for me, one of the things why this is so important to me is because so many people get lost in the transition of I got to choose between my business. I got to choose between ministry, or I have both, but which one is a priority, or which one, do I feel like I have to choose, especially in social media, or do I only post about one-on-one and then I see some people where they start out with the ministry intentions and then the business, it kind of overshadows it, and it becomes their main focus, and then you find where you lose either an audience of people and maybe gain some in the other area. However, I always tell people, if I come on your page, whether you're an entrepreneur or not, I should be able to see the kingdom light on your page as a reflection of who you are. And it is so many people that God is connecting to be an example, like you and like our last speaker that was on, Shanika Green is doing an excellent job in the area. She's in Atlanta, but dominating in different areas, and as well lifting up God and the kingdom of God as well. And it's just not so much about being overly religious. It's more so about being that light, but merging. But if you want to first introduce yourself to the people and let them know who you are and what you do.
Well, let me say, first of all, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
I know, it's been a long time coming.
Yes, it's been a long time coming. Thank you so much, Pastor V. I appreciate it. I love your spirit, and thank you for the opportunity. Hello, Facebook world. Those of you who do not know, I'm Gary G, a prophet. I'm a prophet. Of course, I'm an intercessor, because all prophets are intercessors.
Come on.
Not all intercessors are prophets. That's another story. I'm an author. I'm an elder at our church. I belong to Destiny Church of Jackson. I'm a business owner. I'm a salon owner, a hair educator.
Yes.
And I like to call myself. Yeah, let people know. Yeah, and I'm a platform artist too as well. So those don't know what that is. I represent other hair companies, color companies on stage for big brands on stage. So I'm the guy that's selling you your lashes and your hair color and all that at a hair show.
Word. I love it. I love it. Yes.
Yes.
Listen, y'all playing around. I'm trying to get to Tennessee, let them play in my head. I told my hairstylist the other day, I said, listen, I got Tennessee trying to put their hands in my head.
Come on.
She say, listen, a good stylist know a perfect head when they see it.
Yes.
But no, and a lot of people don't know, I am actually licensed cosmetologist in Florida. And so I know a good pixie cut person cutter when I see it. And, oh man, big color. And so I know a good stylist when I see it.
Yeah.
See stylist when I see it. So I am just blessed to have you on, and just to
Thank
see,
you.
I just to see what God is just doing in your life. This is just only the beginning. And just to see, I love to see how you merge the two. And I love how, and the thing about it is, when you have the anointing and the gifts that you have, that's why I don't understand how this market, everybody is so competitive, because when you truly are confident and flowing in your gift, what you're called to do, then you won't have to be competitive. So
correct.
can you just tell the people, when did you become enlightened? How did you, start merging the two? Did you go through the process that some people feel like they got to balance the both, the struggle of balancing the both?
I love this question. I went through a hard season of this, and it actually took me a long time to realize that it was okay to merge the two, because I was taught that there need to be a separation. And by me, especially going to the hair shows, there's already a big stigma on male hairstylists anyway. And so I had to kind of think fast. I had to think fast on what I wanted to portray. And I didn't also want to, per se, blend in with everybody and bending at the same time, if that makes sense. I want to learn how to blend without bending, if that makes sense. And so, so to make a long story short, I always felt like that I had to separate the two. Nobody want to hear about your God. Nobody want to hear about, nothing. And then I had to realize that one day, this is a story, that I got an opportunity with a major company in New Orleans. And so I had an opportunity to work with a major color company in New Orleans. And so when I went to New Orleans, it was almost like the Lord said, it's either them or me. And for years before that, while I was teaching my classes at these major hair shows, I wasn't getting any response. Like they were advertising me. I may have 10 people, 15 people. Now we talking about an international show. I have no business having 10 people at an international class when it holds 100 and more. You know what I'm saying? And so, and I kept saying, what is the problem? Why am I not, attracting what I need to be attracting? And it's because I was carrying the method of what everybody else was doing and what the world was doing, and what they were missing was God. I'm not saying they weren't saved. I'm not saying they didn't have an anointing.
The facts are the facts.
But what I am saying was Jesus was not on the scene. Okay. And so the moment that I decided that I could merge marketplace and ministry. Now don't get me wrong. I was not in class speaking in tongues. I wasn't in class. I ain't gonna say I want prophesying, because there was a way that God showed me how to go in there and maneuver and release the word without them knowing that the power of God just hit this room. And so the moment that I decided to bring Jesus into the marketplace, I had room standing only at this event in New Orleans. And I had so many people, Pastor V, in that room that I asked them, who y'all here for? Because it scared me.
Jesus.
I said, y'all looking for me? Y'all looking for a little country me? They was like, we looking for you. And that's because behind the scene, I included Jesus. I included the kingdom. And he showed me how to create a presentation that I can still teach marketplace and the kingdom at the same time. And the people that didn't know Jesus, they was sitting there looking like a deer in the headlights, like, wow, like, who is this guy? what is this language that he's speaking? And they didn't realize I was speaking from a realm of revelation and biblical principles. And when that class was over, Pastor V, can I tell you, I sold out of every piece of material that I had on their table. People left seeds. People were crying. People wanted to take pictures. And I was like, so this is the answer. This is the answer.
Come on.
Know the kingdom in it. And I think there was a part of my heart that was, and sometimes you got to ask yourself, are you ashamed?
That part right there.
Yeah.
You in the vein. Because so many times you said you hit it so key, because I come from that old school where we was taught not to merge the two. Yeah. So it puts that inner, that inner insecurity there. Yeah. Where it's like, oh, but you know who taught what made me start feeling secure was Maxwell.
Yes.
Pastor John Maxwell.
Yeah.
Ziegler, Les Brown. Those were great men of God that I love to this day, and I love to hear people who don't know Christ reference them and not realize that a lot of their teachings, a lot of their speakings come from the biblical word, but they didn't have to say this was that scripture, but a lot of their words was inspiration, and they had strategy in how they used it. So yes, go talk a little bit more about that, because I want to see the people of God bloom and blossom where there is no fear, there is no hindrance. But if I always say, what's in you is going to come out of you. Yes. But until we learn to be free to flow in what we have in our gifts, in our calls, in the things, and be unapologetic about it.
Yes. And that's so it. I love that. And another thing I think will free me up, Pastor V, is that I had to get free from comparison, from comparing my gift, my strategy with everybody else. I had to get free from comparison. I had to get free from slick identity crisis. Listen, let me say this. Kingdom entrepreneurs must go through deliverance.
Say that again.
We must go through deliverance. We must go through a deliverance of insecurity. We must go through a deliverance of building up our identity, getting free from familiar religious spirits. You'll be surprised what spirits. You may be sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost and anointed, all of that. But you'd be surprised what religious spirits that you're still connected to. And that's the reason you can't get into the door. And so I had to get comfortable with, okay, you know what, G? Ain't nobody talking like this on stage. You're going to be the only one. There's no blueprint. Because see, God will give you something that it'll be hard for you to find a blueprint for. Because he's trying to make you the blueprint.
Janika, are you listening, girl?
He's gonna make you the blueprint. So we always say, I'm the head and not the tail. I'm the first and not the last. But do you really believe that sometimes being the first means you're going to be talked about? Being the first, being the head means you may be the one that's the pioneer, the trailblazer. You're going to be the first to do it, which means when you're anointed to do it, I don't have nothing to judge about.
Nothing.
But the word. I don't have nothing but the word.
Jesus.
So the moment that you let your guards down and say, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and trust. See, the problem is we gotta trust the plan. We don't trust. See, we don't got so comfortable with writing the vision, but we don't believe the vision.
My God.
We can write it, but we don't believe it. We can write it, we don't believe it, and we don't run with it. But we want somebody else to support and run what we don't run with or believe.
And invest. My God, it baffles me how so many people want you to invest, and the moment you say, "But where your stuff? What you get?" But and then the day you hire, tomorrow you I don't know if this is what God called me to do. I'm about to, and I'm sitting here like, "But you want me to invest?"
Yes, you got to.
You want me to see? You want me to sow? And then I got more. I see your vision more than you see your vision.
Yes.
I'm more excited about your vision than you excited about your vision.
And you receive more cash outs from people with your vision than you put into somebody else's. See, we want
Listen,
our cash apps to be in the thousands and the millions.
my
But when was
God.
the last time you sold that into somebody else?
Sticky note, thumbtack that right there. That part right there. Go down that lane.
Yeah.
Because
You want to.
we
So
want,
here.
we want. And then we go watch Sister Bobo because she done posted something and it looks easy. And now we want to go copy the same thing and we don't have the blueprint.
We don't have the blueprint, the grace, nor the seed to even get you there. I just said something.
Nor the seed to get you there. That
See, the seed in this season is going to be an escort and a vehicle for many of us.
Jesus.
Lord have mercy. We don't step into something. Listen,
I better catch that.
Last week, I was complaining. I was complaining, Pastor V. I was like, listen, what's going on financially? I need something to shake. I need something to shake different for me. And the Lord began to deal with me about the seed of honor. And he said, many of us, we hear a lot about seeds and we hear a lot about giving. We know that. He said, but what's going to unlock my kingdom entrepreneurs in this season is that those that recognize those who have honor and favor on their life, and those people that you decide to sow time, because it's more than money.
Come on,
you sow
say
time,
that.
You sow money, you sow prayers, you sow whatever to those people. It's getting ready to unlock some things for us. And the Bible talks about, and I think it's in First Kings, it talks about how the Lord stripped the loins from the kings that was blocking the gates. Jesus. Lord have mercy. Lord. And I said, because he made me a promise that this was a year of access. And a lot of marketplace entrepreneurs, God has given us access, but we are just one seed of honor away from sowing into somebody.
Yes. Yes. Come on.
And so everything that's been blocking access, everything that's been holding your access hostage,
Jesus.
One seed, your ability to recognize and perceive who you're supposed to sow into is going to be a seed that's going to break the backs of demonic kings that's been controlling the gates of your financial breakthrough and wealth.
Jesus, I wanna tap in on that right there, because what I find is that some things gonna cost you.
It's gonna cost you.
Sacrifice. And I'm reminded when you said that of the woman when the prophet said, "Go on and bake me a cake." And the lady said, and I paraphrase with my interpretation, we barely got something to eat ourselves.
Correct.
And me and mine, we about to eat our own last and go die.
Yes.
But what I love about faith, when you see a real man or a woman of God, that's why I said we got to tap into our confidence. Because when you see a man or a real woman of God, they don't have to prove all of these things that they have.
No.
I got houses, I got cars, I got land, I got all these things.
No.
But when you tap into somebody who has already tapped into the kingdom flow, the kingdom principle, how to operate and operate in the things of where you're trying to go.
Yes.
You won't need that. You will sow what you have the last. Now, I'm saying use wisdom, because y'all will take something and run with it. Use wisdom. But what I am saying is some things are going to cost you the sacrifice.
Yes.
I didn't know when I told God yes last year that I was going to have to lose everything to my yes.
Wow.
And when I say everything, I mean everything to my yes.
Wow.
And so we got to get to a place that we got to stop looking at, oh, that person good. They got it. No. That's who you need to be seeding into you. That's who you need to be sowing into. It don't matter if they call your name. It don't matter if they make your name known. What matters is your seed is in the ground because they're going somewhere.
Going somewhere. It's going somewhere. And we can just take a hold to the principles. Principles work. But see, this is the thing last week. I was thinking about this and I said, if you're not careful, the enemy will make you think you had a better in the world.
Ooh, so true.
He'll make you think you had a little bit, you had a whole lot more in the world.
That's it.
And it's the trick of the enemy to dilute your level of faith and giving.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
to blindside you
Jesus.
from releasing it.
Jesus.
But you have to do it. You have to do it. You just have to do it.
We have to get to that place where, you know, and the problem is, I think that we think that because I'll say, because we have not educated ourselves to understand that you have to put something in order to get a return.
Yes.
You can't just expect a harvest and you ain't plant no seeds in the ground.
Nothing.
And what I love about what you said about, it's not only about monetary. Who have you said, I don't have a financial gain, but how could I this is what I'm gifted in. How could I be a blessing to your business, to your ministry?
Yes.
What could I do to, whether you got administration skills,
yes,
whether you know how to work a camera, whether you have a professional photography business, when do we get to that place where it's like, listen, and I thought the problem also is we make everything on social media about monetary, but we have to teach people investment is not only monetary.
No.
Because what I've learned is we can accomplish so many things by working together because it is still a part of the kingdom. When we understand that, hey, I may not got the cake batter, but guess what? I got an egg to bring to the table.
Yes.
And somebody may say I got sugar to bring to the table, and somebody may say I got oil to bring to the table.
Yes.
And somebody say I got the pan. So when we understand, listen, and then when you realize, guess what? I'm about to be a part of something great, but your motive's got to be right. But what the point I'm making is we have to get to a place of understanding that nothing is given without investment. God ain't even going to give you these things without investing first. God is not going to just endow these things on you without him knowing that, for one, he can trust you. And for two, you could be what? Faithful over the few. It baffles me how so many people want to be millionaires overnight, but don't nobody want to be faithful with the little few. I appreciate my little few audience because before I had the few audience, before the pandemic and everybody blew up overnight, we had all of that. So over here now, I'm just letting the young people, they have all of that. Ain't nobody chasing all that no more. But when we get to that place and understanding that it's gonna cost you some things. There's no way you can think that you're gonna go through this without sacrificing. So I also want to talk about what have been some of the struggles that you face in the startup process.
Some of the struggles. Wow.
Because people always tell the victory part of the process.
Yes, that it failed, and it's okay. It's a recovery from failure. Come on. It's okay to say, "Oh, I missed him. I missed God this time."
You missed somebody.
Yeah. You know what? God told me to do this, and then we did it, and then it didn't yield this results that we thought, and it made you feel like, well, dang, did I really hear God? What's the problem? And it put you in a place of, I guess, grief of just losing a season or losing a business or what have you. But it's okay to embrace the up and the down. And social media have us feeling like you said, we only can see the voila moment. But nobody sees the behind the scenes that you got everybody on the prayer team praying that it works, or you upset and you don't really got into it with all your customers, or or people that came for your character and integrity, and people don't talk about those different things.
Absolutely.
You invested money in a business that really didn't even work. It wasn't even profitable. It looked good on the flyer, but it wasn't profitable.
Amen. And I thank you for that transparency, because a lot of times we glorify the victory, and sometimes some of us have lost some financial gain in the process. We've lost relationships in the process, because I remember as God was elevating me, it was more of the closest to me was saying, I'm jealous, confessing I'm jealous of you.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here like, wait, what?
Right.
You done saw the consecration. You done saw the fasting. You done saw the times where I didn't want to tell God yes, and I still had to tell him yes. You saw me lose everything, and you still jealous?
Yes.
But the problem is because people see where you're going.
They see where you're going.
But they don't, they're so blinded by what your inner process of what the behind the scenes process. And so I want you to talk about also with telling people, let's get into branding and strategizing.
Okay.
Because I think, I am trying to accept that we are in a time now where everything is about image, look, likes, followers, viewers, audience, all of these things that I literally had to step back and say, God, I don't like all of that. But the reality of it is whether I like it or not, the train is still moving. So it's either you get on or you get left behind.
Yes. So for all the people that's saying like, hey, I'm not into the lives, I'm not into trying to have no headshot, everything matters.
Mm-hmm.
Everything matters. And sometimes I have this thing that I teach to my braiders, and I talk about finding your niche. Mm-hmm. And sometimes finding your niche isn't necessarily where your heart is. Sometimes you can find yourself doing a niche that's really not what you're really into, but because there's a demand on that, and that's where people are pulling, sometimes you just need to move into the avenue. Learn to like it. If it's paying the bills, learn to like it. If it's purposeful, learn to like it. It'll grow on you. But definitely sometimes I was just getting dizzy at one point. I was like, people just doing the most. I just can't keep up no more. I'm just over it. I'm like, how many photo shoots you gotta have? How many logo changes you gotta do? I mean, it was just getting ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? I just said,
I was right there with you.
I just said, forget it. And then people are just like, well, some people are connecting with you based off who you're connected with, and then when that falls off, it's like, well, where about to go?
Yes.
Where everybody at? But I totally get it. But branding is very important, and it's bigger than a logo. It's the integrity of your ministry and business. It's the character of your ministry and business, and the outer image can be perfect. But what does that heart look like? Your heart is a brand.
Did y'all hear the man? He said your heart is a brand.
Your heart is a brand. And I'm telling you, when you come in contact with those that you've been called to, they instantly know because of your heart.
That's it.
You ever hear the old people say, what's in the heart reaches to the heart, something like that.
I know what you're talking about.
I think that's
they had so many colloquialisms.
Look, I had old people around me that said what's in the heart reaches the heart, which means you can tell from a person's response or how do you meet them for the first time that what type of person they are. And so your first impression is everything. We got this together, but what is this saying? What is this saying? What does your brand look like when nobody is looking?
That part.
Oh,
and wait, sticky note thumbtacks right there. Because we be so quick to follow and flock people like flies.
Can't stand
at a picnic. And folks brand be together. But
and
when
messy.
you see them in person, they messy, they arrogant, they think they better, they have arrived. And I'm like, wait, I thought you was the same person. When y'all ever met people in person and you was like, wah, 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 highly disappointed because it did not match what the brand was given.
Yeah.
And I'm a type of person, when you start getting older, you start realizing it's what you see is what you get. I don't have time for all them different shades of different putting it on. But go ahead, continue to flow. I just had to put in that because we just flop the people and we have no character, no discernment in how they operate and stuff, and just be like,
Yeah.
oh. And then I've had people say, I've sold 500 into that person, or 600 into that person, and when they really met people in reality, it was like they treated them like crap.
I've seen it hands down, up and close in person. People spending money, monthly subscriptions and all kind of stuff. And then people stop paying that money, you will see how they really feel about you. Stop paying and stop sowing and see the heart of the real person. And that's how you can check the motive of those you sow into. Stop sowing and see how they treat you. It's that simple. You don't even need the Holy Spirit for that. Just stop. Just stop and watch how they act. But for those of us who are doing our best to be authentic in everything that we're doing, we can't be discouraged that people are flocking, because people are image hungry. They're image hungry, and they are chasing identities. They're chasing identities and personalities and all of that. And then you got people, you know, you may say something 100 times. And the people around you be saying, yeah, but the moment somebody on a big stage says it,
I'm about to shout. I'm about to shout.
Let's see what's that cash app. I'm going to that conference, but you can't register for my conference.
Oh, come on!
When you got my phone number, now
I'm going this way.
You got my phone number. I'm praying you through. I'm prophesying. I'm feeding your kids. Come on, I done bailed your baby daddy out of jail. Come on, somebody. And when it's time for my revival, when it's time for my brand, I can't find you.
My God, today.
But you sharing and liking and commenting people who would never call you.
Never.
Now, I had to go there. I didn't mean to go that way, but
no.
Some of these folks
need to hear that, because we're chasing images, like and you numbers. Said. Exactly. And the reality of it is, we've got to get to a place where connect with people where you see yourself. If you don't see your integrity, your character, and who you are as an individual, then that I ain't chasing nobody like that. I posted a while back, you know, I'm all for supporting and rocking with people, but I'm not stroking egos.
No,
I don't have time for that, because it's like the moment you stop sharing people's stuff, the moment you stop liking, the moment you start pumping, I shouldn't be doing all of this for your stuff, and then I look on your page, I ain't got nothing to mind on it. So we got to get to a place where it's like we're beyond imaging, but are we? The Bible says, "Mark the perfect man."
Yes.
Nobody's perfect. However, find something that you're aiming towards.
Yes.
That looks like the kingdom. That talks like the kingdom. Because that's what a lot of these influencers or a lot of these people, that they saying they know Christ, but they don't know the kingdom.
Yeah.
They don't understand how the kingdom functions. They don't understand how the kingdom operates.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful with that. Just because people say Jesus, just because people say, oh, they're this and that does not necessarily mean. And that's why the Bible talks about it's harder for a rich man to enter in the kingdom of God. Yes. And I'm going to continue to elaborate and share that, is because just because people have a lot of money doesn't mean they got it the right way.
Yes.
So that's why God said you have to, one, be subject. For most of the people, if you ever see the people that came to Jesus, what did he say? When they said, what must I do to be saved again? He told them to get rid of or to give. Why? Because you can't take that same mentality into the kingdom. You can take the same gifts and callings and use the same strategy. That's why I tell people, I take a corporate thug. Give me a corporate thug, a redeemed, delivered drug dealer. Baby, they will run your business and be loyal to you. Give me the hoes. I will take the hoes to my ministry. You know why? Because they know how to make some change.
Yes.
How to do some things with some change.
They got this.
Exactly. And so they'll take that same strategy, delivered people, take that same strategy and go just as hard for the kingdom.
Yes, that's true. That's true. And I think we're afraid to work. The church is afraid of work, you know, and I think for so long we've been so taught to just name it and claim it.
Come on.
You know, write it on a piece of paper, throw it over your shoulder, you know, open the door and tell it bye-bye and all this kind of stuff. And we refuse to go back and work. And when we get
Yeah.
done shouting, and when we get done fasting and praying, we still have to get up,
Yep.
put our hands to the plow, and don't look back. We have
That's
to
it.
work, you know. And when we become faithful in another man's vineyard, while
Mhm.
we are working in somebody else's vineyard,
Yes.
God is behind the scenes orchestrating yours.
Jesus.
So when your moment comes, it's already set.
Woo.
Wow, because you've been working faithful over a few things with somebody else. That's why I can't get it when people say, "Well, I ain't finna go serve nobody." Well, who it's only so far you gonna go.
That's it. That's it.
That's a principle of the kingdom. We talking about kingdom and marketplace.
Even
You
Jesus
have
came to serve. Yes.
You have to serve. So you got people who they just don't want to serve. Just whatever. It's just
Mhm.
social media just created a monster to a certain extent, you know.
That's funny you say that. I was just thinking about that today. I say, you know, in this hour, we are teaching people. I said, I was thinking, I said, you know what? We taught people this ghetto salvation. This because when the beginning of the pandemic, I went on a 6 months consecration, and then I came off, and then came back. But I was basically off that first beginning of the year, and came back to the ghetto version of salvation. And I'm like, you know, in this hour, I'm so confused how we're now doing everything that Jesus was trying to prevent us from doing. And the reason why I say that is because he wouldn't have been flipping over tables.
Correct.
He wouldn't have been saying, when the disciples was like, I'm paraphrasing again, y'all. When the disciples was like, Jesus, all right, you rapping, these people need to go eat. They done been out here all day. They ain't ate. The market's about to get ready to close.
Yes.
What did Jesus say? What we got? And the disciples wanted to tell him, well, we got enough for us.
Right.
Go Friday on y'all. Make it enough.
Yep.
So he was like, listen, we got to serve. We done gave the people what they need spiritually. So now we have to give the people what they need naturally. But now we are teaching the people that everything is gimme, gimme, gimme. And all I got to do is run over here, hop over there. That's why you see so many people hopping and all over the place. But don't nobody really want substance in this hour. Nobody really wants genuine connections.
Yeah.
As long as I'm only reaching out to you because I want to see what bandwagon, or oh, this person over here, or oh, this person connected to that person. I am in a season in my life, I only want to be connected around like-minded people.
Yes.
I can't afford it. I can't afford to be connected to people that's looking for a come up. I can't afford to be connected to people that got their own personal agenda when my mindset is on the kingdom.
Yep. That's so true. That's so true.
So we're going to tell the people, I'm going to shift it back. We're going to tell the people, how can they give them some strategies, some tools, and how they can, for somebody that's on here, like, they like the man at the gate of beautiful. They sit in there, the gate the pool is right there to just get on in, and they just need Jesus to come on by.
Yeah.
Put them in the water.
Yep.
And I get it. It could be, and I pray that somebody that's just been like, Lord, I just don't know how to start. I don't know where to go. I don't have all that money, because now graphic designers is not cheap anymore.
No.
Science is ridiculous nowadays.
No.
And Canvas, everybody can't work Canvas. So, you know, I hope that if you're on here and you're just like, how do I, you know, just jump out? How do I just start? Because I personally know people that's just like, I don't even, because we make it so unachievable. Let's be real, realistic. It looks very unachievable out there. It looks like you don't start out with the followings, if you don't know the great names, the clicks. And, you know, I've always been the one to go shoot for the underdog, or the ones that is no names, or the ones that's getting somewhere. And so can you encourage somebody how can they just step out there, take the leap of faith? Just even, how can they even start on a budget?
Yeah, definitely. I love that. Let me say this, and before I answer that question, let me start it off with this. There was a widow, okay, in the Bible, 2 Kings, somewhere up in there. Y'all, I do read my Bible. I just can't figure out which one. Kings. 2 Kings. And she was a widow woman, okay? And her husband had died, and the creditors were coming to pick up her sons because her husband left her and her family in debt. Okay?
I know where
Here come the prophetic. And I'm getting ready to give you some answers.
Yeah.
Here come the prophetic. The prophetic, number one, is going to be your answers in this season. Okay? So, and I say all that to say, plug your ear to God. Take you a pen and paper, write down and say, okay, God, what do I need to be doing? What is my purpose?
Yes.
Somebody say, well, what is purpose? The reason I exist. Okay. You may be want to be selling popcorn. That's not maybe what God will lead you. You may need to be selling tennis shoes. You want to sell popcorn because you just love popcorn.
Come on.
But the Lord is trying to maneuver you to the point He's trying to get you to sell kicks, kingdom kicks.
Come on.
Okay.
Hey, somebody better catch that.
So this is the thing. Write it all down. Okay. Let's say you done written all this down, Pastor V, and now you say, now how am I going to pay for this? How am I going to get all this started? Back to that scripture. The prophet asked the widow woman, he said, ask her a question. What do you have in your house?
Come on.
She said, all I have is just a jar of oil. That's all I have. Now this is the thing.
Ooh, that's good.
He asked her that, and when she answered, she said, all I have but was a jar of oil, which means what she's been looking for to get her out of what she's been in.
Somebody better catch that.
Been with her the whole time.
The whole time.
The problem was she minimized her little. She didn't realize that little oil, that God was going to take that little and multiply.
My God.
And then he asked her the question. He said, what's in your house? So she said, well, all I have but is a jar of oil. He said, well, okay, let me give you a strategy. That's another thing. So number one, you need a prophetic voice in this season. Number two, you need a strategy. The prophet began to give the woman in the house. He said, now I want you to take that oil and I want you to go, check this out. I want you to go and borrow your vessels from those in your community. You and your sons, which means you and the team that God has sent you. Not the one you always want, but the one, I'm talking about the ones that seen you broke. The ones that know your life got
what
cut
you
off.
say.
I'm talking about the ones that seen you go to the bus stop. Then take them and your children, go in the house, go borrow vessels, okay, from those. What do you mean go borrow vessels? Which means, you talked about this earlier, we need collaboration. Find out who you can collaborate with. But the problem is, we have become so adept in the kingdom to cut everybody off that when it's time to connect, we don't know how to handle it because we've been programmed, I got to cut you off. Lord have mercy. And so could it be that you've been missing your team, you've been missing your help because you have been religiously cutting people off because it's January 1st.
Jesus.
So the prophet began to tell the widow woman, he said, take your sons, go in the house. I want you to go borrow vessels, go in the house and shut the door. In other words, I want to teach you something behind the scenes. So now, point number one, you need a prophetic voice. Number two, after you get a prophetic voice, that prophetic voice can be this live. It could be your pastor. It could be anybody. I ain't talking about paying nobody for a prophecy. Not talking about that.
And there are coaches out there. Coaches, some of us do consulting and helping with that, and will strategy and give you a strategy for it. So it's like, well, I'm not strong in my in trusting the voice of God.
Yes, definitely.
Invest
in coaches, and there are some coaches that would definitely help you. So like you were saying that, so your prophetic voice or per se or your direction will come from a mentor or a coach or a program. Okay, so those of you that are against that, you would definitely want to be a part of that. And some of those coaches are prophetic. Okay? And so those strategies aren't just coming just to be giving you something from Google. No, these are divine instructions. And so we got that. And so then he told me, I want you to go in the house, and I want you all to shut the door. Why did he tell them to shut the door? Sometimes we have to be careful. It's okay to be behind the scene for a minute. Because behind the scene, that's where you're developing. That's where the strategy building. That's where you're learning how to sell. That's where you're learning how to be a better you. We got people in business that don't even like people. How does that work? You know?
True.
And so, Gary, what does all this got to do with the question you asked? Just do it. Trust what's in. I think we be wanting A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K.
Literally, for those of us who are people who overanalyze and overthink, we want all that. And the reality of it is if you that person, God ain't gonna give it to you all up front.
He's not gonna give it to y'all up front. You know, it's just being, like we said earlier, just being faithful with a few things. But a lot of times we just need to little by little, precept on precept, here a little, there a little. And if we can just trust to just put our hands to the thing he called us to do and just do it.
That's it.
So some things will be perfect. You're perfected on the way.
Yeah.
We want it to be perfect now. Noah didn't wait till it started raining to build an ark.
You better sell.
He started building while everybody was laughing. Matter of fact, they didn't even see a drop of rain. Okay. Yeah, you know, and so, but he had to trust what he felt like he was being led to do. And then all of a sudden, here comes the rain. You know, and so just be encouraged to just do it. Trust the plan. Don't stop working, and stop scrolling, comparing, and scrolling, and then making yourself frustrated. You know, and I think sometimes we get discouraged because we're watching everybody else. But if we get kingdom focused and knowing that what we're doing is really for the kingdom.
Yes.
He's supplying you for his glory.
Yes.
He's giving you a platform for his glory.
Jesus. And find people that you're inspired by. That you're inspired, that when you look at their page, you don't feel jealous or competitive. You feel inspired, like, man, they really are doing what either you want to do or you like the inspiration that is behind what they do. I am in a season where I'm like, okay, God, I don't feel that I'm where I personally, not where God, because a lot of times we could be right where God wants us to be. And we ourselves want to be like that dog when he's ready to get out the gate. And he's like, but no, I want to encourage somebody on today, because we really have in us what is already that we need. And God already equips each and every last one of us. That's why we all have different gifts. We all have different amounts of gifts that we have and that we bring to the table.
Yes.
When you tap in, the problem is a lot of us don't know ourselves.
We don't.
We don't take time out to know ourselves. We don't take time out to know who God has created us to be. We don't take time out to know what we're actually good at.
Yes.
So you got to go through some things, try some things to know what you actually are good at and what you actually like. Pastor John Maxwell, I read one of his books, how effective kingdom, how leaders, great leaders, I cannot even remember, and that is one of my favorite books. He talks about leadership. And in that book, he says, most people try to perfect the things that they're not good at, when they should focus on the things that they are actually good at. And that's the problem. We so busy trying to be perfect, but God, if he made us all perfect, then there wouldn't really be a need for us to be here on this earth. So I want to encourage somebody, write down your strengths and your weaknesses. And the only time we think to do this is when we know we're going on an interview. Write down your strengths and your weaknesses, and write down the areas that bring you joy.
Yes.
Write down the things that you can't eat, sleep, and dream about. And when people hear me, it's two different things you're gonna hear from me.
Yeah.
You hear me talking about evangelizing, discipleship in those categories.
Yes.
And self-love and self-care, because I've been through that journey. However, we have to find those things And like he said, even the things that you may feel that you don't like, I found that the things that I didn't like was the very things that were my strongest gifts to operate in, that was necessary for the things that I actually were passionate about.
Yeah, it led you into something.
Thank you. Even if for those of us, like I am by nature, one of my strengths and my weaknesses, I had to embrace one of my strengths and my weaknesses. I am a perfectionist. I was always told to look down upon being a perfectionist because it was like, I'm that type of person. But then I realized when I realized, no, being a perfectionist also is one of the characteristics of the kingdom, because we should do things in the spirit of excellence and with integrity.
Yes.
And so when you learn what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and when you learn, some can merge. They can be of a both. And when you learn those things, you will find yourself blossoming beyond what you ever thought that you can do.
Correct.
You want to help share anything else before we get ready to close it out?
Yes, you said something about the marketplace. I want to say this too. Mm-hmm. Sometimes even when trying to figure out what I need to do, you're already doing it. Sometimes you're really just already doing it.
Yep.
There's a reason all the kids keep coming to your house. Yep. There's a reason everybody keep calling you and ask you about vision, talking to you about vision. There's a reason why everybody keep calling you for prayer. There's a reason why everybody feel like you got a certain eye. Mean you got not a certain eye. No third eyes. When I say third eye, I'm talking about a prophetic eye. You got an ability to see, right?
Yes.
And so some of you probably are already doing those things when you feel like, what do I need to be doing? You're probably already doing it. Mm-hmm. Now you're just probably trying to figure out, how can I turn this into a system, or how can this, be profitable, and that's a whole nother class. But y'all definitely contact Pastor V for that.
Yes. And I want to tell somebody also is that we don't feel this is God. Listen, I've been serving in ministry for 21 years, saved 22, serving in ministry 22 years now. Listen, I want to help somebody. Don't feel bad. That's why I'm taking this time out to keep talking and enlightening the people of God about marketplace, because so many people have prostituted and abused ministry and business, that a lot of people are on the sidelines saying, but I don't want to be in this category, or I don't want to be made to feel, or God, how do I charge people something that I'm gifted to do, or X, Y, and Z? And I want you to piggyback and flow with me on this too, because I'm gonna be honest, last year was the first year God literally had to force me. Mm-hmm. Because for me, ministry is a passion for me. Yeah. And that is why I've been able to do it for so long, because I've been passionate, very zealous about it. And so for me, it was always it became a part of my nature. But I found myself doing what people was paying people thousands of dollars to do.
Yeah.
And will do it, bring me in to do it. Me paying, doing all of this and all of that, and wouldn't give me credit, would credit these big name people, would take my stuff, so many different things. And God kept telling me, okay, when you learn, when you get it. Yeah. And it took me for years. The Holy Spirit would convict me. You need to charge them this and that. And for me, I always felt like I didn't want, money takes away the funness in what I like to do. Mm-hmm. Anytime money is involved, I don't like that feeling of, because now I gotta, when people gotta dodge you and all of that, and or they start out, I could pay for this, and then when you know your worth and you know your value, then now they waiting for you to come down on it, and you like, but nah, I ain't coming down, and I deal with people based upon where they are, but at the same time, I know my value, and I know I had to learn, people will pay for what you put a demand on.
Yes.
You want to share with that?
That's so true. You know what? Our gift is free, but our expertise is not.
You know, you actually know where I learned that from? Working in cosmetology. When I went through school and all of that, and I learned, well, dang, it cost me this much to go to school.
Yes.
Because I have been doing hair for years. I grew up in the salon. My grandma just retired last year from over 30-some years of doing hair. I grew up in the salon. The gift came naturally, started doing hair at the age of 7. I went to go to school for because I always wanted to own my salon, and I always said I don't want to own a salon and I can't work in my own salon. It's something to happen. So I went, passed my state board. Y'all, I never really worked in my when I got my license, moved to Maryland. But it taught me that, because that was an investment. I mean, now we getting people, we forgiving people on student loans. However, you must know that it was none of that for me. It wasn't a Pell Grant for me. It was hard earned and working it off. So I had to learn that I had a new level of appreciation for people who go and get their professions, people that doctors, lawyers. These people sit and go and get schooling and invest in what they do. And so when people invest in what they do, they're investing for their expertise. You can be gifted. That's great. I had to learn that. Okay, I knew how to do hair, but I didn't know the textbook. I didn't know the things of the term. And it actually worked out great for me, because I got certifications in things for Matrix and red and all those things, and learning different things that I learned. But I had a new level of respect. And I want to say to somebody that's saying, well, I can't go back to school. Go get you some certification. Go get a trade. And believe it or not, although I never really operated in my cosmetology, because God allowed me to go to an actual college instead of a beauty school, gave me the college credits that allowed me to be able to work in the school system. So that's why we never know, and that was over 11 years ago. We never know what is setting us up for where we're going. And I said, dang, I always said, well, dang, I'm not even using it. And the people said, you need 48 college out credits. I had 1,800. In Florida, you only need 1,500. I had 1,800, and that wasn't even including the college I went to before that. So I want to throw that out there, because a lot of times we make all these excuses, and I wanted to go back to college for so many different things, and God kept saying it ain't going to align with what I'm trying to do for you. So I went and got various different certifications in business and marketing and branding and all of these things. You can do it. It's going to cost you a penny, but start that Starbucks money. Start putting that Starbucks money aside. Start putting, that daily morning croissant or whatever you got to get that add up to $20 a day, because I'm a big girl in the spirit. I like to eat. However, when we will work for what we want to work for. So I want to encourage you that you can go get you a certification. You can go and get you a trade. My trade, usually in the cosmetology field, it could take 1 year. What is it? 1 year. I did a crash course of 9 months, which you really have to have either. At the time I was married, y'all, so I could do that. I had that to do it, but you really have to. There are ways. So some trades you can do a 9-month trade. Some trades you can do a 3-month trade, 6 months, 12 months. The point I'm making is, don't just keep sitting at the side of the pool waiting for somebody to put you in. Like the man of God said, just do it. Get in the game. Just jump in.
And you know what? And this, and then I'm gonna be done. Listen, the man at the pool had all these years, year after year after year, all these opportunities he missed. But this is how you know you're hanging around the wrong people. When I'm sitting here in lane, I can't walk, but you can walk. Jesus. So why not you help me to the pool?
Jesus, because we don't want to help people. We got that crab barrel mentality.
Yes, they could have teamed up. The Bible says, whosoever got in the pool. Why we couldn't team up? One tote somebody, one push somebody, somebody do something. So year after year after year.
That's that person that we talking to that keeps saying, okay, Lord, I'm gonna do it next year. Okay, Lord, I'm gonna do it next year. Y'all know y'all got them stimulus checks. Y'all should have invested into something.
Yes.
Y'all know y'all got that PPP.
Right.
Invested in.
Yeah.
I thank you so much, man, to God, for coming on tonight.
Thank you.
Priscilla, I think her name was Priscilla. She said this was a sign by God. Y'all are ready.
Thank you.
I don't
Thank
know
you.
you. I don't know who you are, but it's time for you to launch out. It's time for you to stop waiting at that pool. You got to move forward in what God is telling you to do. I don't know you. It's something you keep waiting on for God to do it. Why are you waiting? God gonna give it to you. He gonna give you the strategy and the plan and just to move forward. Man of God, is it anything that God has put in you prophetically to say to the people of God? And I'm gonna have you to close us out.
No, I just thank you again so much for everything. And Miss Priscilla is my mom. So yes.
Wow.
So I get that entrepreneurial spirit from her.
I don't know what it is, but it's something that God is trying to do. It's something that she's supposed to be relaunching or launching out to do, and she just been waiting.
Girl, you heard that?
But
Mama, you heard that?
Woman of God, you better go ahead and incorporate whatever you're doing or whatever you're trying to do. But it's something that God is trying to push you out even further in what you're doing.
Wow.
I don't know what it is, but I know it's something that is God like, it's bigger than what you're playing on the sideline being safe. You're not a safe. God is like trying to push you out there.
Wow.
And I don't know her, but I know that she's a person that pushes other people.
Yeah.
And God like, I want you to be out. He's trying to bring you to the forefront, woman of God.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. I'm so excited is what God is just doing in your life.
Likewise.
Where He's taking you, what avenues and doors, and those that said that they wasn't going to be a part of the journey with you. I'm gonna quote the words of Mike Jones. Back then, they didn't want you, but now you got to be hot, and they're gonna be all on.
All on you.
So I want the people of God to know that God is about to do some things for the man of God.
I received it.
Him places and
Thank you,
opportunities and doors that people gonna look at you and say, "How you got that opportunity?"
Jesus, in Jesus.
God is gonna do, and you ain't gonna have to kiss no butt. Not that be the type of person to do it, but you ain't gonna have to do none of that because the favor and because your heart posture.
Thank you.
Because you have a heart for God and His people, and because you're humble and you're pure.
Wow.
And God needs people that is going to make His name great and His kingdom great.
Yes.
Y'all mark my words. God is already doing it, but it's on another level that's about to happen.
I believe that
it's already taken place.
Yes. Yes.
The doors of the opportunity is already, people are already talking about you in rooms and names and mentioning you.
Wow.
And they're going to be like, man of God, there is a demand.
Wow.
On the anointing.
Wow.
But God is about to do it.
Wow, I received that. I received that. Thank you so much.
Thank y'all all for joining us. We appreciate you. Thank y'all for rocking with us, hanging in there. It's some stuff that I'm trying to get off the ground. Y'all stay tuned. I ain't gonna put it all out there, but y'all, I'm telling y'all, God is doing some things for His people.
Yes,
He is doing some things. It's about to be a wealth of the wicked transfer that is about to happen. I'm telling y'all, get your stuff together, get your blueprints together, get your business plans together, get your stuff together. And if you saying, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, you better start putting some money aside.
Yes.
So when God gives you the vision and give you the strategy plan, you already good to go.
You're already good to go.
Love and grace. God bless you all. Man of God, stay right on and give me a minute or two. All righty. God bless y'all.